Hello, boys! Some animals didn't just adapt to humans. They studied us, found the loopholes, and started exploiting us. Let's talk about that. In places like Japan, ravens learned that cars are basically free nut-cracking machines. They take walnuts, fly to pedestrian crossings, drop them on the road, wait for a car to crush them, and then, and this is the insane part, they wait for the traffic light to turn red before walking out to pick up the food. That means they understand cars, timing, and human rules. Even worse, they teach this trick to their kids. So now you've got entire raven families running the same traffic exploit. In the UK, ravens have been caught stealing coins from tourists and dropping them into vending machines to get snacks. We invented traffic. We invented vending machines, and ravens just showed up and said, "Cool, I'll use that." Now octopuses. And yeah, I already mentioned them in another video as the smart ones with emotional issues. This is the other problem. Octopuses do not accept captivity. There are multiple documented cases of octopuses escaping aquariums by squeezing through gaps smaller than a coin. One famous case in New Zealand, an octopus escaped its tank at night, slid across the floor, found a drain pipe, and just left, back to the ocean. In labs, octopuses have learned how to open jars in minutes, remember which humans bring food, and steal meals from neighboring tanks. Some have even been caught spraying water at lights to short-circuit them because they didn't like the brightness. An octopus doesn't see a tank as a home, it sees it as a puzzle, and given enough time, it solves it. All right, now let's talk about something that's not cute at all. Toxoplasma. This is a parasite that lives in cat poop, and about 1/3 of humans have it. Yep, here's what it does. In rats, Toxoplasma rewires the brain so they stop being afraid of cats. Not less scared, actively attracted to the smell. They walk toward the thing that's going to kill them. Why? Because the parasite needs to get back into a cat to keep its life cycle going. Now, in humans, it doesn't do that exact thing, but studies link it to higher impulsivity, risk-taking behavior, and a higher chance of accidents. Which means there's a non-zero possibility that some of your worst decisions weren't fully your idea. And yes, people infected with Toxoplasma are statistically more likely to really, really like cats. So when someone says, "I don't know why, I just love them," science quietly goes, "Yeah, we might know why." All right, elephants. Elephants have absurd memory, like decades-long memory. They remember places, they remember other elephants, and they remember humans. There are documented cases where elephants recognize poachers years later and attack them on sight. In India, an elephant killed a man, then showed up at his village days later and attacked his house. Elephants can track smells over kilometers, recognize vehicles associated with danger, and react differently depending on who's inside. They also use tools: branches to swat flies, logs to break fences, rocks to block roads. Which means when an elephant destroys something, it's not confused. It knows exactly what it's doing. There's a saying that elephants never forget. What people don't mention is that they also don't forgive. If an elephant decides you're a problem, you're remembered. Now, dolphins. Dolphins are manipulative as hell. Back in the 1960s, scientists tried teaching dolphins basic language and commands. And it worked. But then the dolphins figured something else out. If they did the trick almost right, they still got food. So they started messing up on purpose because they noticed they were getting more attention if they did it wrong. So, more food. In the wild, it gets better. Dolphins have been observed passing around toxic pufferfish to get mildly high, like a group activity. They also form alliances to steal fish from human nets, using bubbles as traps and coordinating roles. Which means dolphins don't just hunt, they run heists. And in military programs, some trained dolphins literally deserted, ignored commands, or attacked the wrong targets. You don't train dolphins, you negotiate with them. All right, cats. Cats didn't just get domesticated. They reverse engineered us. Here's the thing people don't realize. That annoying meow, cats don't use it with other cats. They developed it for humans. Studies show domestic cats adjusted their meows to sit right in the frequency range of a human baby crying. Which means when your cat screams at 3 a.m., it's not talking. It's pressing a biological panic button inside your brain. And they don't do it randomly. They change pitch, length, and tone depending on how quickly you respond. If ignoring it works, they escalate. Cats also see humans as big, clumsy cats that somehow control food. That's it. They rub on you to mark territory, sit on your stuff to claim it, and purr when it benefits them. Not when they're happy, when they want something. They understand you well enough to use you. Now, pigeons. The animal everyone calls a flying rat. Huge mistake. Pigeons are way smarter than people give them credit for. They can recognize human faces, and they remember them for years. If you feed a pigeon once, it remembers you. If you scare it away or treat it badly, it remembers that too and will straight up ignore you later. In lab experiments, pigeons have beaten humans at simplified strategy games. Not because they're geniuses, but because they learn patterns fast and don't overthink. They just adapt. During wars, pigeons were used to deliver messages, and some of them learned to reroute mid-flight to avoid danger. So when you see a pigeon chilling in the city, it's not lost. It knows the map. It knows the food spots. It knows which humans are safe. You're not watching a dumb bird. You're watching something that quietly figured out how to live off us without us noticing. All right, last one. Rabbits. The animal everyone thinks is harmless. Cute, soft, zero threat. Nope. In 1807, Napoleon organized a massive rabbit hunt. Thousands of rabbits were released into the fields. The plan was to release the rabbits, hunt them, and celebrate victory. What Napoleon didn't know is that these rabbits were domesticated, so instead of running away, they charged him. An actual swarm of rabbits ran straight at Napoleon and his officers, jumping, biting, climbing, until he had to retreat. Napoleon, the man who conquered Europe, lost a battle to rabbits. Rabbits also fake injuries to lure predators away from their nests. They pretend to be weak on purpose, which means cute and dumb is just camouflage. So yeah, never trust an animal that looks harmless and has nothing to lose. That's how you get overthrown by a bunch of fluffy idiots. And that's it, boys. Thanks for watching.